Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of Sistas. This is season 3, episode 8, and it was titled Little White Lies. Alright, y'all, real quick, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit me with that thumbs up button along with the share button. Alright, y'all, let's just jump right into this episode because it ain't make no sense to me. I am confusion, okay? So it opens up where it left off at, okay? And we hear all these moans. So it's like, yes, all these moans, right? So I'm like, that ain't no porn moan because we hear like the man and the lady and it sound real vibrant and stuff, child. So I'm like, So we see Fatima and she go over to the counter. And this is where I realized that Fatima was in the apartment the whole entire time. So the whole time she was calling Hayden and talking to Zach, she was in the apartment. Where the hell was Gary? Like, the apartment ain't that big. It's a one bedroom part. It's not that big. It's the door, the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom. It's not that big. You know what I'm saying? So where the hell was Gary this whole time? Where was Gary this whole time? And what's the face? Andy got a walk-in closet detached from her room. Like, is it a bedroom that she made a walk-in closet, or is the walk-in closet a part of her room? Like, I have so many questions that I hope y'all got the answers to, because I am confusion, because I don't understand how Fatima was in the little apartment and she ain't running to Gary not one time. Like, nor did Gary hear her having these phone conversations, because they was kind of heated. So I don't understand. So anyway, she calls Andy and she like, girl, she was like, oh yeah, I was about to call you, girl, because I need this necklace. You know, this necklace is gonna go with that dress. So go ahead and look in the top drawer and you'll see it right away. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Oh, you got the dress? Yeah, girl, I got the dress. It is fire. Oh, okay, all right. Well, go on and bring it over here so I can go. So Andy, I think you just need to come to the house. What you mean I need to come to the house? If I wanted to come to the house, girl, I wouldn't have had you come over there. I ain't got no sign to come to the house. So just bring me the dress over here so I can get dressed and meet up with Robin and the girls. No, I think you really just need to come over here. Well, what I need to come over there? I just told you you did. Look, Andy, you asking all these questions. I just need you to come over here. Well, is Gary there? Yes, he's here. So is he okay? Look, he fine. So what's the problem? Like, why I gotta come over there? Look, I just need you to come over there. All right, well, I'm tired of all this back and forth, so I'm gonna just come on over there. The whole time I'm thinking, bitch, if she say come to the house, just come to the house. So it's like, why are we asking all these questions? My friends say, come to my house. I know something wrong because I obviously told you I ain't got time to come over there to the house. So it must be something popping that she want me to come to the house. So they do all that back and forth. Andy finally say, all right, I'ma come. And see, this is where I was at confusion again. So Bree at the restaurant, right? And we saw Danny leave the house in the last episode. But somehow Danny was back in her bathroom. I understand that part. I said, well, when did she go home? Because she had already left her apartment, unless she was in somebody else's bathroom. But then that just ain't make no sense, because would she just be at the restaurant and in the restaurant bathroom? But it looked like she had never left home in her, what somebody said, little Bo Peep outfit. Like, so I was confusion. And so then Danny proceeds to ask Bree, what's going on with her. But I'm like, but if you supposed to meet her at the restaurant, couldn't y'all just have that conversation at the restaurant? Like, I don't know, because when I'm like meeting up for girls' night and stuff like that, or happy hour with somebody or whatever, I don't typically call them and have conversations before we finna meet up. I'm just gonna say, you still good for tonight or whatever? Yeah, all right, bet. I'ma see you then. I'm not gonna have a pre-conversation about stuff we can have in person. You feel what I'm saying? So, but at any rate, I was just confused on how Danny had got back to her apartment. But that's what had happened. And Danny was like, all right, girl, well, I see you there. So then Bree's sitting there, she's still waiting for drinks. The waitress or waiter, I don't know what kind of piss poor restaurant they went to, but ain't nobody addressed them in a long time. So at any rate, this guy come up and he got on a jacket. He cute and stuff like that. He got tattoos on his neck. And he come over there and Bree like, oh, I need 2 big ass margaritas because I need, to get litty. And so he like, you want me to buy you the drink? And she like, no, I just need to get the drink. Like, what's the problem? So then I'm thinking, Bree, you can obviously tell this man don't work there because he got on the coat, unless it's cold in the restaurant. But she ain't paid that no attention, and she's still trying to order the drink. And then he like, something. She was like, because I'm not in the mood or something like that. Because she picked up like he was trying to talk to her, and then he was like, well, I'm what did he say? Fagro, something like that. And he was like, yeah, Bree, something. She was like, wait a minute, how you know my name? Do I know you? He was like, yeah, it's me, Fagro McAllister. She was like, oh my God. So he done got cute. They knew each other in college or whatever. I guess he was heavy set or something like that. And he done slimmed down, got his teeth fixed, and then he looking good. So she like, oh my God, how's it been? You looking great. Oh my God, you looking good. I should have talked to you in college. More than a friend. Because it sounded like they was buddies and stuff. Because then he asked about the girls. And then he was like, oh, well, Danny gonna be here. And then she was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, maybe I should go. I took $5 from her back in college. You think she gonna remember? And then I was confusion again with another part that came up, but we'll get to that in a second. But at any rate, he was like, she gonna bring up some old shit, old girlfriend he had, and he like, yeah, Lisa was the love of my life until she found Johnny. She was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, how you gonna forget about some woman that broke this man's heart? That's just rude and callous there, Brie. But at any rate, they talking. He give her a card and stuff, and then he was like, well, I'm fitting to hit out. Because again, the waitress or the waiter ain't never come over to get the drink order. So now Bree's sitting there. Then Mr. McAllister, he done came, and it's 2 people at the table, and still no orders or nothing was taken by this time. So at any rate, he was like, well, here go my car. She was like, oh, you a professional? He was like, yeah. She was like, well, he was like, well, I'm going to head on out because we got to go to a bachelorette party. She was like, oh, who's with? He was like, me and my homie, we got here to a bachelorette party. She was like, bachelorette, huh? That don't make no sense. Like, he was like, yeah, we the entertainment. She was like, oh, you're a singer? Now, I ain't been to too many bachelorette parties, but typically they don't have singers there. I'm just saying. I don't know. I know they had some scribbles, but she go with, you a singer. I said, oh, okay, Brie. And so he was like, no, I ain't no singer. She was like, say, what is you? He was like, I'm a dancer. A dancer? Oh. I said, oh, it took you 3 O's to get it, girl? Like, girl. So then she look at his card, and his card said, Fagro, the folded taco or something. I don't know. What kind of stage name is that? I don't know. It said something about a folded taco. I know that it said something about a taco because I was like, damn, tacos do sound good, especially like the shrimp tacos. But, I can't really get the shrimp taco right now because I don't even really know who. Oh, Shrimp Shack. I might go to Shrimp Shack. But anyway, y'all, Karen finally, no. Danny arrived first. So Danny get there. Let me make sure. I think I went too far. I did go too far. Andy, she finally arrives at the apartment, child. Gary in the bathroom. So I'm like, he in the bathroom with the lady? I mean, ain't nothing wrong. I mean, maybe she wanted to get bent over the sink or something like that, or the tub, or maybe they was doing something in the shower, wash away the stuff. But she busted in the door because she hear the moaning and stuff like that, and she busted in the door, and this man sitting on the side of the toilet. No, I'm sorry, excuse me. The tub, and he on the phone on the speaker. And so he like, hold on. So then he put whoever on the phone on there, and he like, what's going on, baby? What? She was like, oh no, I just got home or whatever. And so I'm thinking he just listening to porn. Like, what is this, a porn podcast? Like, somebody fill me in. So then I'm like, what? And so then he was like, say hi. She was like, hi. He was like, yeah, I'm talking to Angela, my therapist. I said, therapist? Was she a sex therapist or something? She teaching them how to, get a woman to climb it? Like, what is going on here? So he was like, so he said, hi. She was like, hello. And so the lady was like, oh, hi, I'm Angela. Hi, Andy. How you doing? Me and Gary were just talking about you. I was like, y'all was? Because that ain't what it sound like to me. It sound like somebody was bow chicky wow. That's what it sound like to me. I don't. I've been to many a therapist, and not one time have we ever made those noises. No, but at any rate, he was like, we was just walking through some exercises pertaining to last night. So I'm like, some moaning exercise? Like, what kind of exercises was they doing? So I was confused. I said, this doesn't make no sense to me. And so she was just like, oh, okay. So Andy was like, well, okay, continue what you're doing. So the lady was like, all right, well, I look forward to our group meeting. Andy was like, oh, yes, I do too. And so then she closed the door and she go out to Fatima. So Fatima like was popping, she ready. And so Andy was like, ain't nothing going on. She was like, was she in the bathroom? So she was like, no, he's on the phone. She was like, it ain't sound like he was on the phone. She was like, well, what you thought, he was in there talking to another female? She was like, no, I thought he was in there after another female. She was like, well, no, there's nobody in there. He on the speakerphone. No, girl, where she at? She was like, well, unless he flushed her down the toilet, it's only him in there on the phone. So then she like, I don't believe it. So then she go back to the door. She was like, listen. Mind you, they clomping with these heels. No, nobody heard. Gary did not hear this. So they by the door and he talking to her again. So I'm like, but they wasn't talking before. Like, Tyler Perry, what is, you want your audience to be confused? So I don't understand. So at any rate, Andy was like, girl, but thank you anyway, because I know you had my back. She was like, yeah, I was ready, so she was like, well, thank you, girl. I'm sorry that I brought you over here. She was like, no, don't worry about it. So then Fatima leave, Andy go back because she want to get dressed or whatever. So I said, what is going on? But anyway, Danny finally gets to the restaurant. Bree like, oh girl, you look good. What's going on? Did you and the what? You done broke up with the cowboy? So apparently Danny just gets dressed up when she thirst trapping and stuff. Because Bree was like, girl, I see a little nipple. Like, that's your thirst trapping dress. She was like, I ain't nobody thirst trapping. I just felt like I wanted to look good and look pretty and stuff like that. She was like, oh, okay. And so she was like, well, guess who I ran into? She was like, who? They girl. She was like, oh, he's still shaking that ass. She was like, he a stripper? Yeah, girl, Club Eden used to be my spot. So I know. So see, this is where I was confusion again, because I was like, well, if he saw Danny at the strip club and they already knew, because obviously she knew who he was when they went to the strip club, because he ain't looked the same. So he had to have some kind of conversation with her or whatever. So wouldn't he have been afraid that she wanted her money then too? Y'all see what I'm saying? But anyway, Karen get there, and Karen like, oh girl, you look good. What's going on? You and the cowboy broke up? She was like, oh my god, no, me and the cowboy ain't break up. I just wanted to, come out here and look cute. She was like, all right, well, I mean, that's your thirst trap dress and stuff. She was like, oh my god, like what is wrong with y'all? So then a waitress come or whatever, because Karen was like, well, did y'all get some stuff? Y'all got something to discuss? Y'all got, because she got that subpoena and stuff. So she was like, y'all want to discuss something today? They was like, no. She was like, oh okay. So the waitress finally come over for Karen, and she came over for Danny too. And Karen was like, look, I need a triple shot or whatever they taking, okay? Like, so I was like, dang, girl, you having a rough day. But anyway, we back at Andy's apartment. Andy looking cute, okay? She got her little pink dress on and stuff. It looked like a little suit, but it's a dress. So, I mean, it was cute. Anyway, she asked Gary how his session went, because now they in the living room. He like, oh, it went good. It was draining and stuff like that. It was a lot to process or whatever. And so he was like, well, why you come to the bathroom like that? She was like, I was just trying to make sure you was okay. He was like, yeah, because you did look concerned. So she was like, well, what was you doing? He was like, well, we was just letting our emotions out versus keeping them in and stuff like that. And she was like, in the bathroom? Yeah, smaller spaces are good for me or whatever like that. Okay, well, as long as it's working well and stuff, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. He was like, she was like, but is it working with like, everything? He was like, yeah, I think it's helping. She was like, well, what about the sex? That's just a process. It's going to take a little time for that and stuff. I said, Lord. She was like, well, you're doing good. I'm proud of you. I love you and stuff like that. He was like, I love you too, baby. I love you too. So anyway, he tells her that she looks incredible in her dress. But she look cute. Andy is cute. So he was like, well, where you going? She was like, I'm just going to hang with the girls or whatever like that. He was like, you wearing that? And she was like, what? He was like, well, I'm just saying, like, you always look cute when you go out with the girls. But I mean, that outfit just, it's just a lot, And she was like, well, I'm not changing. Oh, I ain't want you to change. I ain't want you to change, baby. But I mean, just a lot, And so she was like, well, this is how I feel. I feel beautiful and stuff. He was like, yeah, I know. I'm not even going to say nothing. Well, what time you think you're coming back home? She was like, 11. That's a long time to hang out with the girls, you think? And so she was like, well, if I finish early, I'll be back. He was like, oh, okay. Well, where you going? The steam pot. Not the steam pot. The steam plant. Oh, okay. Okay. So you're going to the steam plant? And you think about leaving at 11? Okay. All right, baby. All right. All right. So she was like, all right, baby, but I'm going to go. I said, see, Andy, you wasn't picking up on the clues. Because anytime he want to know all this information, Gary, he about to do something. So I already knew he was going to pop up. So we're going to get to that in a second, child. She calls Fatima, and she feels as though it's a bright idea to get 2 tables at the steam pot and tell Robin to meet her at I keep saying the steam pot, the steam plant, to meet her at there and get 2 tables. Well, I did tell Gary I was meeting the girls, so I'm not lying technically. Fatima like, girl, you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. So Fatima called Robin, give him all the plans. So we see Bree, she telling her story about what happened with Jacoby and stuff like that. Time my son, he just screamed my name in the bank. It was so embarrassing. I said, girl, it was just you and Maurice there. Like, how embarrassing was it? But at any rate, Andy finally arrived. So, of course, there's tension between Karen and Andy and stuff like that. Bree ends up telling Andy what happened, and Andy was just like, well, with Danny's assistance, because Bree act like she didn't want to tell the story or whatever, but Danny had to chime in there and stuff. And so she was like, yeah, she had this co-worker and stuff like that, and now he hollering me too. So Andy was like, oh, I'm gonna handle it, and if I can't handle it, I'm gonna get one of my co-workers to handle it or whatever. And the whole time I'm thinking, girl, what kind of lawyer is Andy? Like, is she a divorce attorney, or like she in the music business? Is she in criminal? Like, is she in sex? Like, what type of lawyer is she, or she just do all of the above? Because she seemed to be having her hand in many pots. I'm just want to know. But at any rate, Andy tells Danny that she got the bridal fields going on and stuff like that. And then Karen was like, y'all both know y'all full of shit. So then Danny calls out Karen's stank ass attitude, and she was like, don't you got something to say to your friend? She was like, yeah, I got something to say to my friend. I'm sorry for how I said what I said at the bridal thing, but I'm not sorry for what I said. I said, damn. She must be a Sagittarius or something like that. Because that's something, one of, that's what they would say. But at any rate, so then she was like, they was all like, that's what you gonna say? Yeah, that's what I'm sorry for. So she was like, but ain't you sorry for something else? I mean, yeah, I'm sorry for walking out on you. I that was my bad. I shouldn't have walked out on you. I shouldn't have did that or whatever. And then Andy like, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I said, girl. So then Andy was like, we didn't do it. Karen was like, thank God, thank God or whatever. And so she was like, what? And so Karen was like, well, don't you owe me an apology? And everybody looking like, what? And so Danny was like, I am confusion because what she owe you an apology for? And she was like, well, y'all ain't get y'all letters yet. Y'all ain't get nothing in the mail or nothing. Y'all ain't getting nobody come to y'all. All right, well, let me go on here and pull it out. Here you go. So, Gary's wife, she is suing you for an alienation of affection, and she's calling all of us to testify. And the creme de la creme of it all is read the bottom part. Read the bottom part is where she broke into Andy's house and shot Gary and then held you at gunpoint. So and then everybody looking like, what is that? What? Oh my God. So when was you gonna tell us that, Andy? So Andy looking all crazy, like, well, I mean, she did come to the house, and Gary had lost his key, and we found it because Jasmine had it, and she busted in there and she shot Gary, and then she held me, but I defended myself, and yeah, that's what happened. So Danny like, bitch, the way you just rolling this off your tongue, like this is normal, like you just walking down the street. Like, can I get the ketchup on my fries, on my crinkly fries with the salt and pepper on there? Like, you just, this is abnormal. So then here go Brie. Well, is Gary all right? I said, girl, shut up. Shut up. Did he look all right at the wedding, Brie? But anyway. So she like, when they was like, well, when was you going to tell us? When was you going to tell us? Karen was like, she wasn't going to tell us because she ain't want us to know that we was right about Gary and his crazy ass wife. And so then when she say that, Robin walks up. So they all looking like, well, who this or whatever. So then she was like, oh, hi. All right, y'all, I'll see y'all in a second. So then Danny like, well, what kind of business is they finna do over there? So they all trying to figure it out. At Fatima's child, Hayden come in there with his dumb ass, and then he like, well, I thought you was mad at me, she was like, well, why would I be mad at you, the stunt with the ex-con and stuff like that. She was like, oh no, just make yourself comfortable. So she go over there and get him some wine. So then she texting, of course she texting Zach. They still on the couch and stuff like that, and she trying to act like she all into Hayden and all this other crap, and we all know it's bullshit, but Hayden's so stupid, like he don't know it's bullshit. Zach pop in, then Hayden like, oh, what's going on? So then basically Fatima put Hayden in his place and was like, is you really jealous of him? Like, then she looked Zach up and down and was like, yeah, I be jealous too. Then she was like, cause you took his name off the list and whatever, it got him to the bottom of the list. Hey, like, I don't know what you're talking about. She was like, don't fucking lie to me. I'll push your head through that goddamn window. I said, damn. Okay, Philly. But anyway, she basically told Hayden, I know where all the bodies is buried. I know I got evidence that you did some damage to the camera and stuff like that, planted the drugs, all that other stuff. So what you need to do, I don't know how you gonna do it, but what you need to do is get his name back up on that list and stop effing playing with me. So he like, all right, man, all right, whatever. So then he looking all stupid. Then she turned around on Zach and was like, yo, don't ever think I'm that chick that just because we have some issues that I'm going to bury you underneath the bus and stuff like that, and I'm going to take away your money or whatever. I ain't one of them other hoes, so don't even try me like that. He like, all right, but just, I ain't finished yet. So what y'all need to do is squash this stuff. I told both of y'all that I'm motherfucking crazy, and once the switch is flipped, it can't be turned off. So I suggest y'all stop effing with me. And then she will sashay off, and then she told both of them to get the F out her house. I said, Lord child. And then she had on like a green dress. So when she came home, she had on a yellow dress, you know, her famous yellow dress. And then she had on the green dress with her little high heels. And then she had left and went into her room. And we gonna sum all her. She went into her room, right? And she came out because, of course, Hayden and Zach had some words. It was pointless, child. Hayden left. Zach stayed. He stayed on the couch. So she come out her room in like a little yellow dress with some high heels on, and she looked like she was fitting to go. So Zach was like, where you about to go? She was like, well, why the F is you still here? Like, you need to get out. You need to come with me and leave the same time I'm leaving. He was like, no, you don't want me to leave, because if you wanted me to leave, you told me to leave. So then he started tonguing her down and stuff like that. And then he was like, she was like, stop, Zach. No, stop. And he was like, if you really wanted me to stop, you tell me to stop. And she was like, okay. So then, you know, they was about to bow Shiki wow on the couch, but, you know, of course, we didn't see none of that. And then that was it for them. So then we see Andy with Robin. I guess they settled on some stuff, but he was like, no, if I settle like that, you know, I'll lose her as a client. She was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. And so then they was talking about work or whatever. So, child, he was like, so another part I was confused. So they got this big ass glass of red wine, child. And so she was like, well, okay, that's it. He was like, oh, we finished? She was like, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the deal. I got to head back over here to my girls. So he was like, well, I ain't even finished my wine. She was like, okay, that's fine. I'll take my wine over here and I finish it. He was like, no, well, let's finish a glass of wine at my hotel. I said, wait a minute. Now, she already done told you 15,000 times that she engaged, and you still pressing up on her? Like, that's trifling and tacky. Like, do better, Robin. So at any rate, she was like, no, I'm engaged. And so he was like, oh, that's a cute little ring. She was like, little, this is a big rock. And so he was like, well, you know, I just want to be professional and, you know, just finish the wine and stuff. She was like, all right, I'll finish the wine and stuff. I said, girl, you was just playing with fire. Like, you was really playing with fire. And so Danny, we over there to the table. So Danny like, well, she invited us out, right? And they like, yeah. But she over there with Mr. Turtleneck. Yeah. And Bree like, well, he cute though. He cute. And so then we pan over to Andy again with Robin. Now they got a glass of white wine. So I said, did they finish the red wine and then went to white wine? But you shouldn't really mix the wines. That's like mixing alcohol. But who is me, child? So Andy again playing with fire. She over there talking and yes, you got a nice, he was like, you got a nice smile. I mean, you have a nice smile too. I mean, I'm just saying, you have a nice smile. Like, I mean, you're very attractive. I mean, I can say that in a professional way. Child, in the background, you see some man walking up. Of course, it's Gary. So Gary walks up and he sees them two. So he just looking and she like, oh shit. And then it went off. I said, girl, you stupid anyway, because you had to know that that crazy man was going to pop up. Like, he was getting all the information, and you going to get a table in the front. Like, at least you could have had a table sitting next to your girls, or maybe a booth down from the girls, so it just looked like you ran into a friend and you wanted to chat with a friend. But you get a whole separate table, child. Bye. And then the fact that Robin said he had a whole romantic table at the Carlisle, child. He was trying to get a little bow chicky wow before he hit on that plane back to London. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Put it down there in the comments. I know y'all gonna have some stuff to say because y'all be having me rolling. Anyway, if y'all are not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button along with the share button. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.